This is your weekly report on corruption in the Philippine government. A village councillor in Arizin town in Sorsogon was shot and killed on Thursday morning, police said. Police Staff Sergeant Eugene Equipado, chief investigator of Arizin Police, said Shima Medel, 38, resident of Barangay, Village, Bilon, was shot by still unidentified assailants in Barangay Gabayo at around 8:20 a.m. Initial investigation said Medel was driving his tricycle with his wife, who was not identified in the report, as a passenger along the Halika highway when the incident happened. The victim sustained multiple gunshot wounds on his body that resulted in his instant death, while his wife was unharmed. State auditors flagged the unnecessary hiring of consultants by the National Anti-Poverty Commission, NAPC, that led to additional cost of over 3 million pesos. In its 2021 audit report, the Commission on Audit noted the NAPC hired a total of 13 consultants, 6 for legal, 4 for media, and 1 each for financial, gender and development, indigenous people, and economic affairs. COA said upon reviewing the tasks and functions and accomplishments of these personnel, hiring of such is not essential or redundant. NAPC also hired professionals who have tasks and functions that were not aligned to its mandate, the state auditing firm said. One example provided was having a financial consultant that was seen redundant in such as the same functions as the Commission's AFMS financial unit and internal audit unit, state auditors noted. It is also unnecessary since NAPC is not into investing, COA added. Hiring of unnecessary consultants resulted in the incurrence of additional expenditures totaling 3,398,636 pesos, which is considered not essential and which can be dispensed with without loss or damage to property, COA said, adding that this could have been avoided had the management properly assessed whether the hiring is needed. The state auditors recommended to the NAPC to stop hiring consultants with redundant functions. The latter said this will be disseminated to its different offices that require future consultant services. COA also called out NAPC hiring of consultants that did not undergo posting requirements to the Philippine government electronic procurement system that is contrary to the provisions of the Government Procurement Policy Board. Hiring of consultants were not done through competitive bidding as individually checked through their procurement monitoring report for CY 2021, COA said. No documents were also provided evidencing the procurement of such consultants under alternative method upon confirmation with Bids and Awards Committee. The audit report noted that the total budget of NAPC for consultancy services was only 300,000 pesos last year, but total disbursements reached 8,219,636 pesos. NAPC was told to strictly comply with the requirements of the law and to strictly observe its budget and ensure that disbursements do not exceed the allocation. A councillor in Barangay Bulon in Arizin town, Sorsogon died after being shot while driving a tricycle Thursday morning. The victim, identified as Barangay Councillor Shimon Medel, 38, sustained gunshot wounds to the head and various parts of his body. The victim's wife, who was sitting inside the tricycle, survived the shooting. During the initial police investigation, the couple was on their way to Sorsogon City when the shooting happened. Police are still investigating the alleged 4 unidentified culprits behind the shooting and the motive for the crime. Aside from being a barangay councillor, the victim was also riding a tricycle, according to police. One reasons. An army official with a rank of major was shot dead and another soldier, a sergeant, was wounded in a shooting incident at Camp Wien Martilana in Pili town in Camarines Sur province on Saturday morning, the 18th of June. Major John Paul Belaza, the Army's 9th Infantry Division Public Affairs Office Chief, told Inquirer in a text message that the incident transpired at the Satellite Finance Unit of the camp at around 1:30 a.m. The suspect, who was an army captain, also died when he allegedly shot himself inside the camp after shooting his fellow soldiers. The Court of Appeals, CA, convicted a former village chief in Manila for illegal possession of firearms during the election gun ban in 2004. The CA on the 13th of June said there is no compelling reason to reconsider its the 25th of January, 2021 ruling that sentenced Guillermo Dadius, former chair of Barangay 187, Zone 17 in Obrero, Tondo, to up to 2 years imprisonment. The original CA decision affirmed the 20th of October 18 verdict of the Manila Regional Trial Court Branch 10, which also disqualified Dadius from holding public office and exercising his right to suffrage. The Manila court similarly ordered the forfeiture to the government of the firearm, a .38 caliber Smith & Wesson revolver, on the 3rd of March, 2004, which was covered by the election gun ban. Dadius responded to a commotion at the corner of El Papa and F. Aguilar streets where a man was mauled following a traffic altercation. Dadius joined the group in harming the man and fired his revolver when police officers arrived. Dadius denied firing shots and said he usually leaves his gun at his office. He admitted though that he did not apply for exemption, contrary to his earlier pronouncement when arrested. In convicting Dadius, the court noted several witnesses, including the mother of the man mauled and responding policeman, who testified that he brandished and fired his firearm in public. A village councillor was shot and killed on Monday, the 20th of June, in a coastal area in Balino town in Masbate, the police said in a belated report on Tuesday. Police Major Maria Luisa Calubaquib, Bicol cop spokesperson, said Romnick Drio, 33, was sleeping inside their compound when two unidentified men approached and shot him around 2:30 p.m. several times in Barangay Abongan Diet. Drio died instantly. The report said police were investigating the incident for the arrests of at least 12 suspected New People's Army members involved in the killing. A village chairperson escaped a sleigh try in an ambush staged by still unidentified gunmen in Magandanao's town of Ampachuan, a police official said Tuesday. Lieutenant Reynaldo Samson, Ampachuan town police chief, said chairperson Zoraida Mamluba of Barangay Camasi had just alighted from her Mitsubishi Montero Monday afternoon when her vehicle was fired upon by the gunmen in a drive-by fashion. She is safe, she was not in the car when it was ambushed a few meters from her home, Samson said. Saudi Zakaria de Malabar, the village chair's driver, was slightly injured with broken windshield pieces after he accidentally stepped on the vehicle's gas pedal and hit an electric post during the barrage of gunfire. A barangay utility worker, Dolce Monterrey Mambantuan, who was in Mamaluba's vehicle, also escaped unscathed. Samson said an investigation is ongoing to determine the motive behind the incident. We would like to find if this ambush incident has something to do with the cases that she, Mamaluba, resolved in the barangay court, he said. The Sangguniang Kabataan, SK, Federation of Batuan City condemned Wednesday the killing of a colleague as they seek a speedy investigation to render justice to the family of the victim. Nelbert Mancayoga Costa, 27, the SK chairperson of Barangay Lumbacan, was gunned down by an unidentified assailant at 9:40 p.m. Tuesday in Barangay Maceo here. The untimely death of Mr. Gacosta reflects the horrible reality of our society where injustice and evil reign, the SK Federation said in a statement. The group also expressed deep regret for the passing of their fellow youth leader and demanded immediate justice for Nelbert. A police report said the victim succumbed to 5 gunshot wounds in the upper right back of his body. He was pronounced dead at around 10:07 p.m. Tuesday by an attending physician at the Agusan del Norte Provincial Hospital. A 63-year-old village councillor survived a gun attack in Barangay Malabon, Canguinhar on Monday, the 20th of June, evening, police said. Investigators identified the victim as Marianito Hermenajaldo, a resident of Malabon, Canguin. Hermenajaldo was driving an electric bike and was on his way home from his farm when he was attacked by assailants on a motorcycle using a 9mm caliber pistol. The victim sustained multiple gunshot wounds, including a bullet piercing his face. The man is currently in the intensive care unit of a local hospital. A police station commander and a jailer on duty are now under investigation by the Davao City Police Office, DCPO, following the escape of 3 detainees under their watch. DCPO spokesperson, Captain Teresita Gaspon, identified those relieved from their posts as Major Alberto Abella, the Sasa police station commander, and Master Sergeant Roger Babao, the station's on-duty jailer. They are now placed under careful watch while temporarily assigned to do administrative work. We are investigating whether they have involvements in the matter, Gaspon said in a press briefing Wednesday. Abella was replaced by Major Jose Rodrigo Mendoza in a turnover ceremony on the 20th of June. Gaspon said the two could be charged with administrative cases. The Commission on Audit, COA, has flagged the Office of Civil Defense, OCD, for the supposed slow utilization of funds intended for the government's COVID-19 pandemic response. In its audit report for 2021, COA said the OCD's slow construction of quarantine and isolation facilities in various local government units, LGUs, deprived the intended beneficiaries of the needed facilities to curb the spread of the virus. State auditors said the implementing agency has received 4.5 billion pesos under Republic Act No. 1194 or the Bayanihan to Recover as One Act for the construction and maintenance of isolation facilities. In compliance with the law, the OCD transferred over 713.529 million pesos across 24 LGUs in 6 regions, of which 335.293 million pesos was allocated for the operational requirements of 2 LGUs, while the remaining 378.235 million pesos was intended for the construction of isolation facilities in 22 LGUs. However, according to COA, only 4 of the 22 LGUs completed the construction of the isolation facilities. The non-completion of these isolation facilities within the target completion date deprived the intended beneficiaries of the needed facilities to curtail the spread of the virus during the pandemic, said COA. Moreover, failure of the LGUs to complete the construction within the deadline will result in the termination as provided under Section 4 of RA 1159 or the extending the availability of the appropriations under RA 11,494 feet, it added. The audit agency, however, pointed out that the OCD has deliberately made consistent efforts to ensure the timely implementation of the program and projects through the issuance of various memoranda which clearly set clear guidelines and conditions, including the validity of funds for all recipient LGUs to be guided properly. For his part, OCD Administrator Ricardo Jalad said the COVID-19 funds are demand-driven, since the budget was allocated for the utilities and maintenance of COVID-19 facilities as well as for the basic needs of healthcare workers. Jalad said it cannot be spent on other expenses. If these requirements are met, there's no need for additional expenses. If these quarantine facilities will have a reduction in occupancy, there will be a reduction in expenses, he said in an interview on ANC. He said the slow implementation of funds is due to the late downloading of funds. He added that some of their personnel were also hit by COVID-19. Despite the unused funds, Jalad said the OCD received an unqualified opinion from COA. The unqualified opinion is the highest finding bestowed on post-audit. That's all for this week. I'll see you next week with more stories of corruption and foolishness within the Philippine government.